Well, hey guys, this is Dr. Drake 63 here. I want to thank you for joining me today. Today, we're not going to shoot any firearms. We're not going to do any reviews. This is going to be, maybe for some of you, kind of a boring video presentation. And the specific purpose of this is to talk about what may be some of the gun laws in the form of executive orders, more than likely, that we're going to be seeing coming from the Biden administration here after January of 2021. I don't personally like to do a lot of political content type videos. I don't personally like to do a lot of videos like recently where I'm talking about price gouging on ammo and things of that nature. I prefer not to do those kind of videos because my main interest is conveying my opinions and my experience with various types of firearms used for hunting, self-defense, and things of that nature. But this is important, and it needs to be discussed. And I'm not going to rant and rave today. I won't be throwing my arms up in the air or screaming at the camera. I know there's some folks that do that kind of thing, but that's not really my style. What I do want to do today is talk about facts. Fact number one that I want to talk about is the fact that Mr. Joseph Biden, who is the president-elect and will be sworn in January, unlike some other presidents, Barack Obama comes to mind, who instead of just kowtowing or paying lip service to gun control advocacy groups that are often camped out in the Democratic tent, this guy means business. Now, Barack Obama, like I said, he made a lot of overtures that direction, but that really wasn't what he was about. And similarly, Donald Trump kowtowed and paid a lot of lip service to Second Amendment groups, but as evidenced in his bump stock ban and some other things, I don't really think that's what he was about. That just happened to be a group of people who were commonly associated with the party that nominated him, and there is a difference. Well, Joe Biden has a long track record of being outspoken in terms of his attitudes towards firearms ownership.
So to gun owners out there who say, well, a Biden administration means they're going to come for my guns.
Bingo. You're right if you have an assault weapon. The fact of the matter is they should be illegal, period.
We also know that when it comes to a person's right for self-defense, that Joe Biden has some very interesting views along those lines as well.
You believe that banning certain weapons and high-capacity magazines will mean that law-abiding citizens will then become more of a target to criminals, as we will have no way to sufficiently protect ourselves.
What's your name?
Kate.
Kate. If you want to protect yourself, get a double-barrel shotgun. Have the shells, a 12-gauge shotgun. If there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony here or walk out, put that double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts outside the house. I promise you, who's ever coming in is not going to... You don't need an AR-15. It's harder to aim, it's harder to use, and in fact, you don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself.
So what I want to do is talk about the specific measures and the specific proposals that aren't conjecture, they're not rumored, they're in black and white on the Biden-Harris campaign website. There's a long list of things that he spells out as gun control, or they like to rename this now as gun safety measures. And I'm not going to say every single one of them is horrible, but for the most part, what you're going to see as I go through these is an attack on one or more of the amendments of our Constitution. And the concern here is how these things will be put into play. If we're going to have executive orders, I imagine a lot of them are going to immediately go up to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is not a friend, we don't think, of strict gun control, but at the same point in time, you just really never know until the case goes before them. So let's go through these one at a time. So looking at the list, hold gun manufacturers accountable. Not talking about if they make a faulty product, it's talking about if you misuse their product. We're not doing this with the auto industry, folks, but for some reason it's okay to do that for gun manufacturers. Get weapons of war off our streets. Just calling something a weapon of war is putting a stigma on it, which is completely inaccurate. Buy back assault weapons and high capacity magazines already out there. Well, I have news for the federal government and anyone else. Mine aren't for sale. Close the hate crime loophole. I've got a problem with anything called hate speech or hate crime, not because I think it's good. I have a problem with that because who decides what is hate crime and what is hate speech? And online sale of firearms and ammunition. This is simply nothing more, in my view, than an attempt to completely disrupt and shut down the firearms industry. Reduce stockpiling of weapons. Think about that. If you want to buy more than one gun a month, it's stockpiling. These next couple items basically talk about making the manufacturer of new semi-automatic firearms, rifles, and things of that nature illegal, as well as high cap, which they would call over 10 round magazines. And not only that, add to that the fact that if you do have them and want to keep them, you're going to have to register them with the ATF, which turns into a $20 tax stamp and a waiting period. Think about that. Add to that this nugget: 100% of firearms are smart guns. And lastly, reform, fund, and empower the U.S. Justice Department. You know, those folks we trust so much. So I think we've got a long road ahead of us, guys. I don't think there's any question at all that the mainstream media is going to be completely behind the majority of these measures. And we've seen that they don't have any problem at all picking their favorite issues and their favorite candidates, and facts be damned. So what can we do about it as private citizens who want to protect all amendments of our Constitution? Well, more than anything else, you have to make your voice heard. And personally, if you want to contribute to the Gun Owners of America, if you want to contribute to the National Rifle Association, and that's a whole different topic over which one, if either of those organizations or organizations like that are going to be effective in the fights that we have upcoming. But you most certainly need to do what you can, and that includes and is very important that you reach out to your person in the House of Representatives and Senate, state, local, you name it. It's easier today than ever to reach out to these folks. Send them an email. And I'm not as worried about what's going to happen with the Nancy Pelosi's of the world or the Chuck Schumers of the world. They're not going to stand up for Second Amendment rights at all. They're going to follow suit with party line. I'm more worried about quote unquote red state Democrats, and I'm worried about Republicans because I don't really see the identity there with the Republican Party that I used to in terms of standing up for a lot of the traditional platform items that they used to. And I think just like any politician, so many of these people just look to see which way the wind's blowing. Well, we have to do our best to be that wind. And the way we need to blow hard is by reaching out to these folks multiple times if necessary and letting them know that we need to protect the Constitution of this country. That's the most important thing we can do. That's what I'm asking you to do. And I do appreciate you watching this, to many, like I said, somewhat boring presentation, just yakking away about stuff. But folks, I can't have my channel on YouTube or anywhere else. I can't demonstrate and discuss the types of firearms that I have been if they all become illegal, and neither can you. So let's do what we can. Let's use the system to the best of our ability. I don't buy into saying, well, the system's broken, so to heck with it. I'm not buying into that. I think we need to do everything we can along lines of communication and reaching out, and it might make a difference. Let's hope that the common sense prevails. And I appreciate you watching as always today. This is D.R. Drake saying thanks for your time. Be safe. Keep shooting, guys, and we'll see you soon.